Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Fearless Brand Leaders. I'm your host, Ryan Gill. When it comes to cult brands, you can't ignore the meteoric rise of GoPro. Their portable, mountable HD cameras have enabled millions of people to capture and share amazing, breathtaking moments on the web. Here with me now is Todd Ballard, Director of Sports Marketing at GoPro. Todd, it's a real honor.
Thanks for having me.
It's been nice to get to know you.
Yeah.
Let me get right to it.
Sure.
You're here at the gathering with some amazing brands. Of all the other brands out there, you've partnered up with Red Bull. It seems like a great fit, but of all the other brands, why did you choose Red Bull out of the gate?
Well, I think, Red Bull, there's a lot of history between individuals within my company, including myself and staff at Red Bull. I think we think alike. Our CEO, Nick, had the opportunity to travel to Austria and meet the founder of Red Bull, Dietrich.
Wow.
And I think they hit it off immediately. Dietrich and Nick share a lot of the same passions and feelings about their brands, and I think there was a instant bond between both of them. And on the spot, they see an opportunity for what Red Bull's doing with their events and their athletes, really synonymous with what we're doing with our athletes and the events that we're involved with. So it just made a lot of sense to.
So is Dietrich, is that his name?
Dietrich
and Nick, is Dietrich still involved in Red Bull?
Yeah, he's still involved in Austria. Well? Yeah, Nick is here. So
do you think that's key?
I think so, especially for a fast-growing brand, when you have a founder who's so passionate and has brought the brand to a place where it's at, it's so important for them to stay involved and continue to push that vision and passion that they have.
Yeah.
We've gone from 20 employees to over 600, close to 700 in a very short time. So I think it's crucial that Nick has stayed involved and really exuberated the passion that he has for the brand.
Yeah.
It's infectious.
I did some research before our little our interview today, and by research I mean watching some YouTube videos.
Sure.
And I saw Nick totally hands-on, looking over the shoulders of some designers and people. And is that how it is? He's really just in there?
He is. I mean, at the end of the day, Nick is our creative director. And we have an amazing creative director, but Nick really is the pulse and feeling behind the brand. He approves most of the imagery that we use in our advertisements. Very hands-on. He's a great soundboard. I think just with the size of the company now, he's definitely allowed key people that he trusts to make decisions, but we still see him as such a valuable tool to run ideas by, because he lives and breathes the brand like nobody else can.
Tell me, you didn't touch on it much in your session upstairs that we just had. Tell me in 30 seconds to 2 minutes how it started. You talked about the seashells and all these things. But give me the short condensed version from start to now.
Yeah.
And maybe how you played into the
in 2
equation.
minutes. Yeah. So Nick was surfing in Australia, rubber banding disposable cameras to his wrist. Had this idea of creating a camera that had a wrist strap that you could put and was waterproof and you could take surfing. And he did the shell belt bracelet idea was basically he was living in a VW van and he brought all these shell necklaces, belts back, and was selling them to kind of help subsidize what it was he was trying to do to get the first prototypes made. And I think it was that moment when he realized, instead of flipping the camera to take pictures of somebody else and turn around and take pictures on yourself, that was really the idea of, hey, I don't need my buddy to take photos of me to get the shot. I can do it myself. That
was his epiphany of building the camera. And so he went into production and did he get investors? How did he build this thing?
Yeah, I mean, he took very small investment from his family, no outside investors.
That's amazing.
The company was built off very little money. And they drove a Yellow Hertz van around to trade shows and did the chant and sold the passion. And that's where I met Nick, at a trade show. With my own small agency at the time. I was watching Nick and his college buddy and his then girlfriend Gill, that's now his wife, just wearing these goofy cameras on their wrists, just absolutely passionate and crazy. And I was just immediately infected with what they were doing and struck up a conversation. And I want to say that was 2007, 2008 when that happened. And 2009 is when GoPro released the first HD version of the camera, and that's when things just skyrocketed. Once the quality was there, it's been a roller coaster ever since.
So the web's flooded with videos made by GoPro customers. You've taken crowdsourced content to new heights. you showed us an amazing video of a pelican with the GoPro on. What keeps your brand team busy if your customers are the ones telling the story?
I think, from our side, the customers are telling the story, and it's important. What we do is we take that content and share it with the rest of the world. We're giving our customers credit for what they're doing. We're driving more eyeballs. And I think, from my side, on the sports side, it's important that we still align ourselves with some of the world's premier properties, whether that be an athlete or an event, because that's really driving the aspiration behind the brand and inspiring people to go out and be like them.
You kind of would become a curator too. Like you said, you'll like a video or a picture, and instantly it'll have 10,000.
Yeah. We have a video of the day and a photo of the day
I love
that we publish, and it's it's this craze of getting even between athletes and brands that want that notoriety of a GoPro photo of the day, video of the day, and then subsequently video of the month, photo of the month, and so on and so on. So we see an opportunity to really curate that and turn that into something even more special in the future.
So what does the director of sports marketing do at GoPro on a day in the life of?
Day in the life, yeah. So I'm ultimately responsible for 135 athletes globally that span over 35 disciplines of sport. We're involved with over 90 events, from big global events like X Games to small core events that reach a very niche market. My job really is to ensure that we're maintaining our authenticity and credible voice in each of those markets. And the voice in which we would speak to a mountain biker, it's completely different than the voice we need to speak to a skateboarder.
Right.
So it's important that we look at all of our touch points as we reach each of these audiences, whether it's a print ad, editorial, or even the videos that we're doing, and making sure that they're authentic within each of those.
See, that's huge. We had this chat right before we came on camera here today. Is print's not dead, traditional's not dead. It's how it all ties together. And how do you feel GoPro does that well in storytelling in all mediums?
I think we do. I think if you look at our message across all media platforms, it's a very consistent message.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely been an attribute to the success we've had, is that consistency, and again, that authentic voice as we're speaking to each of those audiences.
Yeah.
Because the core of the market can sniff out an imposter.
Yep.
And it makes it harder for us as a consumer electronic brand than, say, a footwear brand or a clothing brand that's very endemic to a sport. As a consumer electronic brand, I feel there's more critiques out there looking for us to slip. So it's very important that if we're naming a surfer at a break, we're naming the break right, and we're naming it as if a Volcom or a Quicksilver would, just to make sure we're doing it.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Last question.
Yeah.
We've all seen the rise and fall of many great brands, even brands like Kodak.
Mm-hmm.
And you see brands like Harley Davidson, 110 years.
Right.
How do you guys make sure, you can't say innovate, that's too easy. How do you make sure that you guys stay current and you stay relevant?
I think it's not getting complacent. Innovation, I was obviously going to say, but I think it's complacency, making sure we are not complacent, we're not comfortable, continuing to push the limits, not settling for what our product is today, but what it can become and what it can enable other things to happen. I think we're just at the beginning of what GoPro has the opportunity to become, and it's much more than just a camera, so it's going to be exciting.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate
Congratulations on being a cult brand of the year.
Thank you
You're
very much.
You're in good company.
Yes,
for
absolutely.
sure, and you totally deserve it, and
Awesome.
you're a genuine guy.
Awesome. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Tune in next week for another episode of Fearless Brand Leaders, and get to meet more people like Todd. Until then, stay fearless.